Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ron and Fez Show. Well, boys, I reckon this is the time has come to make a choice.
Fasten your seatbelt.
The fastest hour in radio. Time's a luxury we don't have. Only on the Ron and Fez Show. Hurry up, Nerd. Hurry up. Don't wait for me.
Come on, let's go.
And now, Ron and Fez.
It's the Ron and Fez Show, the fastest hour in radio right here, 106.7 WJFK.
I'm Ron, there's Fez, and we're shock jocks.
Yeah.
And we apologize for breaking up the talent-free block there in the middle of the commercials. It's going to be a programming-free block every day before we come on.
Spot blocks.
Yes, spot blocks.
On 106.7 WJFK.
More commercials and less of the yapping on WJFK.
Hope you're looking to buy something.
And that's what we really do. We come in, we break up the commercials every once in a while, and we break up that long 9 hours of New York programming and give you 1 hour of local programming that we sneak in under the radar. But we do it in a real shock jock way.
Pictures of American troops abusing Iraqi prisoners showed up in newspapers around the Mideast on Saturday. Of course, angering Arabs who condemned the U.S. as a champion of rights only for Americans. How bad does this look for our cause?
Does it make us look bad, or they're the ones that are naked in a pyramid? How does this make us look bad? You're the ones that get naked and get in a big human pyramid. And now you're mad at us?
They don't do that normally. Normally they keep their clothes on.
They do this, and that's why they're upset.
They're very modest people that usually don't get into a butt pyramid.
Says who? I think that this lets them know, Fezzy, that we're bringing freedom, we're bringing justice, and we're bringing a whole kind of wacky lifestyle in that they've never had before.
One Iraqi said, I prefer the Sodom torture chambers. At least that way we got to keep our clothes on.
And that's all you can get out of this. The only thing, the difference that you're getting between us and him is clothes. I don't think it makes us look bad at all, Fezzy. I think it makes us look very spring breaky over there. And it's kind of like Wild on Baghdad.
It's hijinks. But President Bush can't go on television and keep saying there's no more rape rooms and no more torture chambers if we're opening our own. That looks bad.
What he means is there's less rape rooms and less torture chambers. You know, that part of it didn't even dawn on me, that he used to brag that the rape rooms were gone and the torture chambers are gone. And then when they show our brave men and women stacking these guys up.
Yeah, the girl who you see pointing and laughing, she says she was forced into it. She was forced to pose in that picture.
Who would force her? The Gimp? Who did this? This is the two bad guys from Pulp Fiction. We should just say we're going medieval on your ass and leave it at that.
Who forced you to point? Who forced you to smile and laugh while it was going on?
You know, it'd be very difficult for me if I saw people being tortured to point and laugh. But again, Fezzy, we know aberration, right? I mean, this is not the normal U.S. soldier, correct?
I would hope so.
So you're just hoping. You can't even sit here as a citizen and go, I know, I trust our soldiers, and this is not the norm.
Yeah, this is a bad thing, hopefully a rare occasion. One explanation I heard over the weekend was no one ever informed our soldiers about the rules of the Geneva Convention. All right, even so, you should know that butt pyramids are not allowed. Even if you haven't read the Geneva Convention, I haven't gone over the rules, and I would know not to stack naked Iraqis on top of each other.
I got news for you. I got $100 right now that says you've been part of a butt pyramid at one point in your life.
Not by force.
Oh, yeah, that's the good point. Not by force.
Senator John McCain, a prisoner of war in Vietnam, sent a strongly worded letter to Sinclair Broadcast Group about its decision to pull Nightline from 7 ABC stations throughout the country.
Yeah, what Sinclair Broadcasting believed is that Nightline was honoring the war dead by showing their pictures and reading their names and showing them to America, and that was a way of, that was leftist propaganda and was going to make us punk out on the war.
Yeah, every third picture was John Kerry. For some reason that came up, and it just said vote for him in 2004. It was just a tribute. Now, the only ones I saw that were like with Sinclair was that Fox News Sunday show with Chris Wallace.
Yeah.
Where there was one of the pundits on there that said it was a huge mistake, that you're not giving the American people enough credit to think they know that soldiers are being killed. And Chris Wallace said ABC made a mistake by showing the names and the pictures and not saying all the good that they accomplished while they were there, what they actually fought for.
Well, what should they have been saying? How would he want it done? I mean, I think that we could figure that out as well. We're not saying that these were people that didn't do well. I don't know what more they want. Like a big beat Iraq thing, or what they're looking for.
Yeah, so Chris Wallace next Sunday is going to do a list of what we've accomplished to answer back to ABC's Dateline. I don't see what one has anything to do with the other. And if you're going to say this is political, well, you know, chalking up all the good points about Iraq is political.
I don't get it. I think they didn't sit there and read off the list of names of dead Iraqis that were killed, citizens. You know what I mean? They didn't say, here's some accidental bombings that killed Iraqis, and read them off one at a time, which is also news. When you really think about it, that is also part of the news, and yet that didn't happen. Here's what my problem with Nightline was. Whatever that little speech he gave at the end where it was all about him, you act like we're trying to do something classy, and then he used that last couple minutes to sit there and defend himself of his critics. And you've got to be able to take those shots and keep moving if you're in the right. He could have saved it for another night to sit around and bitch about the people who bitched about him.
I didn't even understand what his little speech was at the end, his final, Jerry Springer final thought, because to me he was going back and forth on it. I had no idea what he was trying to say.
What he was trying to say is he didn't have an agenda, and he was doing a good piece, and and he's been attacked for a lot. That's what Ted Koppel was saying. But you can't do that, right? You can't sit down and talk about how you've been attacked when you just showed 500 and some guys that have been murdered, or killed at least. I'm sorry for saying murdered. They've been killed in war. So if you look at that, your little problems, that you're taking some kind of heat for what kind of show you do, don't mean crap.
A new survey of Iraqis says that 57% want U.S. and coalition forces to leave now, even if it means being less secure. 71% saw that the U.S. Were occupiers, not liberators.
And 94% said if they're going to be in a naked butt pyramid, they want to be in the top 2 rows. They don't want to be at the bottom, because all those butts could come down.
Yeah, you don't want to be that husky Iraqi on the bottom.
All right, so 50% of the people in Iraq, and that's just the regular citizens, want us to leave now and let the chaos begin. That they're better off with chaos in the streets than they are with us. 71% say they don't see us as liberators, they see us as occupiers.
So how do you help a place like that, where people would rather get shot by their own insurgents than be protected by the U.S.?
But, Fezzi, just so that you know why you're asking this question was being asked before we went into war, and people, like yourself, were screaming, we have to get in there. We have to get in there. It's a little late to be asking these questions now.
If only we had gotten the parades. They just can't stand us whatsoever. There's no way anything's going to get set up there.
The one so-called parade we got, it looked like those people were forced outside the day that they pulled the big Sodom down. That's when 100 people went wild in the streets. And the media reported it as if it was, VJ Day. Everybody's going crazy.
The day the Sodom statue came down, it was like a loop of tape where you just kept seeing that one little kid hitting the Sodom head with a shoe.
Yeah.
You'd think there'd be more kids than that in Iraq.
They showed an update of him, what he's been up to, top of a butt pyramid. So he's changed. He's changed so much.
They're getting big on us.
All right, we're going to take a break here and go into commercial break. But it will not be 94 minutes of commercials. It's something we try during our show, just a normal amount of commercials.
We will be back.
Yeah, that pay for the radio station, but do not fall into that infomercial point that you heard a little earlier. We'll be right back. Ron and Fez Show.
and Fez show. It's the fastest hour in radio.
Today is going to be even faster. That's the beauty of it.
Saturday was the one-year anniversary of President Bush landing on the deck of the USS Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, we did it, baby. We did it. Mission accomplished.
And, of course, speaking in front of the Mission Accomplished sign. Now, is anyone... He's been going around defending this, the Mission Accomplished sign. Is anyone behind the new explanations of... He's saying now, no, what I meant was we got Sodom out of power.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what he meant that day, and he meant... we got Sodom out of power, and now we're going to have to keep fighting new guys to keep popping up. I remember him saying something like that. He's like, believe me, even though it's mission accomplished, a lot more of you guys are going to be dying. That's why I've dressed up like you today.
The things he said was major combat operations have ended. Well, the people in Fallujah would probably have something to say about that. And the other thing was that the U.S. and coalition forces were victorious in Iraq. So it's kind of hard to go ahead and put this in the win column.
I put it down as a win, Fez. Who's the one stacked up in butt pyramids? Us or them? Us or them? Yeah.
Them. They're in the butt pyramids.
So he dressed up like he was a soldier, which was great. He said mission accomplished. Why can't we just enjoy it for what it was?
I don't think putting things in the W column anymore means win.
It's literally the W column.
Contradictions are already coming out of the 9/11 Commission.
No.
With President Clinton saying he told President Bush that Osama was the #1 problem, and W saying that Bill was more interested in North Korea and Israel and Palestine. Are we going to get anything useful out of this commission?
I find this useful. I find this very, very useful to see what exactly happens over the transfer of power, or if they are listening to each other.
It didn't take long for the secret depositions to come out in Time magazine on this thing.
Well, you didn't think that secret stuff would stay secret. But I've heard for a while that Clinton said, look, I want to talk to you about the Bin Laden situation. And now, finally, we're hearing Bush going, I don't remember saying. He might have mentioned Bin Laden, but he really didn't push it hard.
With the 9/11 Commission, it turned into such a I have to go in there and defend myself thing, instead of here's what I know, here's what that person knew, here's what they know, let's put it all together.
Yeah, instead it turned into who was talking when the teacher was out. That's what the whole thing became about.
We're taking names. L. Paul Bremer, the U.S. administrator in Iraq, says he regrets a statement he made more than 6 months before September 11th, saying that the Bush administration was paying no attention to terrorism.
What he meant to say is that they were paying too much attention to terrorism. Now they look back on it, what I really left out was paying too much attention.
I meant to say mission accomplished.
Yeah.
Bremer, if the administration wasn't paying attention to terrorists and the 9/11 attacks happened, doesn't that put him in the right? Why would he apologize?
Well, he might have been right 6 months before, Fezzy, but he still has to work now. Daddy got to make the mortgage payments. And he doesn't want to look like he's on the wrong side of this.
Oh, I forgot. Somebody's the governor of our 51st state.
Yeah, he's running the 51st state, so he wants to act like everything's just okay.
And now we're doing fine on terrorism.
Yeah.
John Kerry fell off his bike yesterday.
Oh, is he all right?
Yeah, he's okay. He hit a patch of sand and fell right off his bicycle.
Here's what I said to him. You got to get right back up on there riding. Before you know it, you're going to be able to ride that thing without me running next to you.
I never got back on.
Nothing worse than having your dad running next to the bike while you're trying to pedal. It is the least hip you'll ever be your entire life.
And, John Kerry, I just want you to know, if you want your head to look smaller to people, please do not put on a giant Great Gazoo bicycle helmet while you are riding the bicycle.
Because there's nothing he could put on that head to make it look smaller. He could put the state of Utah on his head, and it's still going to look huge.
You know what? Now that I think about it, he may not even have been wearing a helmet. He might not have had anything on at all. That may just be his skull.
All right, here's my little advice for John Kerry. And, again, I don't know what to do about the helmet thing. That you're going to have to find in some big extra-large melon store. But you're 60 years old now. Get off the snowboard. Get off the bike. Stop it. It's silly. It's weird. We know you're extreme, brother. We know it. But the time that you stop riding a bike is the day you get your driver's license. At that point, the bike goes into the garage until it rusts. And you're riding around in a car.
This is his second bicycle accident. I think he had one a couple years back where he ended up breaking some ribs. It's like if he's elected president, we're going to get ourselves a brand new Gerald Ford here.
Well, I mean, in Gerald Ford's defense, he didn't go out looking for stuff to fall down off. He fell off the stairs. But you know who falls off of bicycles, Fez? People who ride bicycles. And the same could be said of snowboards. When you have friends that are like bikers and stuff, they get in bike accidents. You're riding around, everybody else is a car, and you're on the road. Of course you're going to get knocked down occasionally.
I can't have a president that's wearing bicycle shorts. It's just too much. It's too tight.
We had one, and that was Clinton, and he never rode a bike. He would just walk around the White House in bike shorts going, "Excuse me, anybody find out where I put the potato?" And then he'd do that big laugh that would just end up into a leer.
He always came into a room like Val Venus from the WWE. Supreme Court Justice David Souter was attacked by several young men, according to reports, while he was jogging in Washington. Don't we have people watching Supreme Court justices?
No, they're on their own.
I had no idea about that.
Can you imagine these guys when they got home and saw the guy that they rolled on TV? How freaked out they must have been. Like, hey, we just didn't smack some jogger around. It was the Supreme Court justice.
And now they're going to find us. I like the several young men explanation. It sounds like something off of The Sopranos last night.
Well, they went out of their way to not say, to be too descriptive. Because I was just yelling back, smiling, could you describe these young men?
Yeah, he'll be putting together an artist rendering.
Is there any kind of music they were listening to? Or what kind of chains were they wearing? Were their hats on straight or somewhat crooked? Was anyone wearing a D12 shirt? Was there bling-bling as part of this?
Our government officials are going to have to stop exercising. You got Kerry laying on the side of the road with his bike on top of him. Justice Souter's getting attacked while jogging through the streets.
I got a new word for all these old white guys. It's called health spa. You go to it. It's not that expensive, and you're able to work out in safety. I want to throw a little shout-out to Whack Magnet today, Fezzy. Big shout-out to Whack Magnet. Put your two fingers up in the air like it's a peace. A peace! We got to do a quick break here, Fez. We're going to come back. Let's talk a little show business. All right? When are you getting the show business mood?
I like that.
Every time I'm talking to you, it's always political. I want to hear who's dating who and who's embarrassed. We'll be right back. Ron and Fez Show.
Thanks for being with us for the fastest hour in radio, the Ron and Fez Show. Smarty Jones won the Kentucky Derby on Saturday, becoming the first undefeated winner of the Kentucky Derby since '77.
Now, you listened to my radio psychic from Friday, Fez.
Radio psychic.
Let me just try to cue this tape up, and here it is. Okay, Fez, you watch. Come this weekend, Smarty Jones will be the first undefeated winner of the Kentucky Derby since '77. Mark my words, that's my radio psychic. Yowza, now back to more music.
Okay, first of all, I don't know how you pick the winners like that. I don't know how you do it.
Yeah.
You got some sort of system. What I don't understand is why your radio psychic was in a 1940s type radio announcer voice.
Well, we used to do things that way then.
Last Friday?
Yeah, we used to call our headphones cans. Did you watch the greatest 2 minutes in sports, or the most exciting 2 minutes in sports?
Yeah, I watched that Mudfest.
Do you think it really is the greatest 2 minutes in sports?
I don't think it's the greatest 2 minutes in sports.
It's pretty damn exciting. I only watch that horse race all year, and nothing else. And yet, every year, I'm yelling during that one race. I'm yelling, come on. I did pick Smarty Pants because I found out Nick and Jessica wanted them early on.
Nick Lachey and Jessica Simpson there.
Oh, did I have to say last names? Am I in some kind of unhip town where we don't know who the newlyweds are?
Jessica, of course, she was at the betting window when they were interviewing Nick Lachey and spending all of Nick's money.
Yeah. all of Nick's money because you'd be making the big cash without the big-breasted blonde wife. It was a pretty good race, though, right? It went exactly the way they said it was going to go.
Yeah, it was cool to see Smarty Jones come up on the side there and finally take the lead over Mashed Potato or whatever the other one was.
And his owner almost died. They were showing this man. He had an oxygen mask he's wearing the whole time, and he's so excited. He starts to have what looked to me like a heart attack on camera. Why his family was just ignoring him.
Somehow he got out of his chair during the race, and when it was over and he was so excited, he kind of fell back into it.
And then he was like some kind of mean old man after it happened.
Yeah, they were trying to wheel him down for the presentation, and he was screaming at people to get out of his way, of his chair.
The only person that he was nice to was Smithers, who's there to help him.
The Spurs beat the Lakers 88-78 in the opening game of the Western Finals.
Or as they like to call it, the real championship finals.
Before the East gets involved and messes it up. What's with the Lakers? Dropping game one like that.
Well, you're going to lose some games, Fezzy. You're going to lose some games. Now, I don't think it's over for them, but I don't know if they're even the best team. I don't think that they're the best team in that.
The Spurs have won 16 in a row now at this point in the season. And it's weird because the guy who's coming up on rape charges, he had a great night. Everyone else seemed to fall apart.
That's pretty much the way the whole seasons went. The rapist has had a terrific season, and everybody else is struggling. Shaq is just, I don't know whether he's getting old on us or he's just too beat up, but he definitely doesn't move the way he used to.
I think he's like that giant in the Ukraine where he's still growing, and we just haven't noticed it yet.
I know one thing. He got beautiful rims on his cars. I saw that on Cribs. And if he spent as much time maybe thinking about free throws as he does thinking about rims, I think he'd be okay.
Jason Williams was acquitted of aggravated manslaughter but found guilty of trying to cover up the shooting his limo driver. Jurors failed to reach a verdict on the reckless manslaughter charge.
That would have been the dangerous one, right?
Yeah, that and the aggravated one. Those two could have put him away for just about ever, I think. What could be more reckless, though, than playing with a gun and shooting a limo driver?
Well, I mean, it's not like he didn't try to cover it up. He knew it was wrong. Let's face it. He knew he was doing wrong, and there's a lot to be said for that.
Where they're hiding suits, he's trying to... I think one of the charges he was found guilty of was manufacturing evidence, which is probably putting the limo driver's prints on the shotgun.
Well, were you sure that it was Jason Williams, or could it have been Andy Williams?
Andy Williams, there's no way at his age.
He's still doing 7 shows a week. Fez, give me a radio psychic. What do you think he's going to do? What kind of time?
Radio psychic.
If any.
He could get up to 13 years on the charges he was convicted on. I don't think he's getting any time.
I think he's getting all 13 years. I think the judge has sat here and watched this whole deal. The judge might, it's one thing for the jury to get swayed. I think the judge is going to look at this thing and go, this guy did everything. Everything he did. And I've seen lawyers, so I'm not sitting here as confused as some of the jury is. I think he's going to get a decade, Fez.
It seems to be a ridiculous verdict. I mean, there was one person who was reckless. The charge is recklessness.
But, see, your thing is this. Anytime anyone goes into court, you expect them to be guilty. You think if they're not going to be guilty, they shouldn't go into court. So you're always disappointed no matter what happens.
With the celebrities especially.
Why? Well, you don't know any other people who go into court.
Ricky Henderson, the 45-year-old outfielder, he signed Sunday with the Atlantic League's Newark Bears.
He's back with them again. He started with them last year, Fez. He played about half a season with them and then ended up with the Dodgers. 45 years old, the greatest leadoff hitter in the history of baseball, and you can see him playing in Newark with the Bears.
How many more bases does he have to steal before he finally calls it quits? He won't leave baseball.
He will not leave baseball.
I don't understand why.
Because this is what he is. He's a baseball player. He wants to play the game of baseball.
And it's like he wants to keep getting back to the major league, right?
Yes. Well, everybody wants to play in the major leagues when you're a baseball player. But, I mean, his thing is this. This is what he loves to do. And a lot of people feel like they're frustrated with him. But he doesn't want to retire. I don't know why people act like, well, you should leave after a home run and that should be it. This guy wants his last check of his to bounce. That's what he's after. That's what he's asking of his body. Just, I don't want to leave anything behind. I kind of think that it's cool. I kind of think that it's cool that he loves the game so much. Everyone's going, well, he could go into the Hall of Fame. If you can't go into the Hall of Fame until you retire. I go, that Hall of Fame is going to be there. Whenever he retires, 5 years later, he's going into the Hall of Fame.
He's going to go into the Hall of Fame looking like Smarty Jones's owner when they wheel him in.
That would be the best way. What do you want to do? Spend a lot of time signing tickets or play baseball, and you're still meeting chicks. Yeah, you're not meeting Manhattan chicks. You're meeting Newark chicks, but they're chicks all the same.
Also known as the Newark Bears.
All right, we're going to take another short break, Fezzy, because our show's tightened up for the 2 New York shows. That's the way we're treated. We'll be right back. Ron and Fez Show.
WJFK.
Ron and Fez here. Mother's Day is this weekend. You can send her a Vermont teddy bear made just for her from the Vermont Teddy Bear Company.
You know, this is a great idea, Fezzy. Normally I like to send my mom alcohol, but then I get the phone call later about what a disappointment I am. Tell me a little bit about these Vermont teddy bears.
They have over 100 bears, Ronnie, all handcrafted in Vermont, guaranteed for life, and you can have them delivered with, like, gourmet candy and a gift card.
Are there, like, specialized bears?
They're specialized bears, and you can talk to a friendly bear counselor who's going to help you pick out the right bear.
Is there a bear that says, I'm not the disappointment, you are? Or is there a bear that said, well, whoever asked to be born? That was always my big comeback.
You can probably put any of that on a gift card.
Yeah. By
calling 1-800-829-BEAR. They also have a Mom for President bear for this election year season.
Do they have a bear that says, Mom, I'm not so impressed with you and Pop either? And if you came out of my background, I don't think I'm doing so bad.
I don't know exactly how much you can fit on the gift card, but I'm sure the bear counselor will be able to help you with that.
I'm going to get her a bear that just says, I'm not killing you. I'm not.
On-time delivery is guaranteed, and it only takes 5 minutes to order. So call today, 1-800-829-BEAR, or shop online at VermontTeddyBear.com. The creative alternative to flowers for Mother's Day. That's 1-800-829-BEAR. Back with the Ron and Fez Show, fastest hour in radio. Courtney Love was arraigned Friday on 2 drug possession charges, but her lawyer said that she had the prescriptions for the painkillers and he did not see the case going to trial. Any chance she does time?
No, zero. How come they would even pull her in if she has prescriptions of those drugs?
That's what I don't understand. If she's got the prescriptions, and this is all a misunderstanding, no, I have prescriptions for these drugs you found on me, then it shouldn't have even gotten this far.
Her problem is she looks like such a mess that everybody who sees her knows that she needs help. That's what they're after. They don't want to put her in jail, but everybody who sees this woman would like to get her some help. They'd like to get her into rehab. She doesn't seem to be listening.
I would imagine they'll probably end up with court-ordered rehab here. And the weird thing is, this is like all this stuff has to be taken care of before she can even start with that custody stuff of trying to get her daughter back.
Well, that's just out of the question right now. Now is not the time with that. But, yeah, she's definitely a person who needs help.
I think her daughter was the one who wrote the prescriptions. Larry Wachowski, one half of the brother team that created the Matrix films, he's rumored to be getting a sex change operation.
Yeah, everybody's talking about that. And you know what? Have you ever seen any pictures of these guys, Fez?
Yeah.
He always looked like, what is he doing, a woman thing, like a transvestite thing? So it's not a huge shock for me.
There's never any eyebrows.
Yeah, there's never any eyebrows, and a lot of times he'll wear a hood. It'll just be like a little hood, like he's the French lieutenant's woman. All right, Fezzy, you're a big fan of The Matrix. Does this change anything for The Matrix for you?
It seems to me to be explaining, like, between the red pill and the blue pill, trying to have to make that decision.
Here's the way I take it. First Matrix, great. Last 2 Matrixes suck. So that's all I've gotten out of this. But now this is kind of interesting because suddenly the Matrix trilogy has got to be the biggest films ever directed by a woman. Now, does he or she get credit for that? Or was she a man director then?
I think man director. I think Larry or Larette, whatever, can only claim women directing titles for anything after the surgery.
Now, the next she did the 3 Matrixes when she was a man. Her next film is a remake of Sleepless in Seattle. I don't know why they do that.
Isn't it too soon for a Sleepless in Seattle remake?
Yeah, I was joking.
Oh.
She's going to do did you really think that I...
Yeah.
Wow. That's the lithium. She's going to do, I was doing like chick flick. She's going to do How to Lose a Penis in 10 Days. So it's going to be good.
A nice documentary from the Wachowski... I guess they're not the Wachowski brothers anymore.
No, they won't. They're the family. The Wachowski family.
Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen have received a Hollywood star on the Walk of Fame.
Yeah.
These two going to go the distance.
They're billionaires already, so that's the distance for me. If they never do another thing, they've got $1 billion.
They were also, they're going to host Saturday Night Live for the season finale, I think, next weekend.
What I would do, is it already the finale?
Yeah, May 15th, I think, is the finale, so 2 weekends.
2 weekends. What I would do is bring Chris Kattan back, the 3 of them can act like monkeys. Because you got to admit, there's a little monkey look with those girls. I'm not saying it's not hot, but it's a little monkeyish.
So the last 3 weeks of Saturday Night Live, we had Lindsay Lohan this past weekend.
And her gigantic breasts that they literally focused on for 15 minutes. Even though she's a minor, they focused on her breasts for a 10-minute sketch.
Avril Lavigne is next week.
Yeah.
And then the Olsen twins. It's kind of like Nickelodeon at this point, like these Kids' Choice Awards or something with the hosts.
That's been going on for the last couple of years, ever since it was like first Christina, then Brittany, then Justin. And I'm like, okay, these are all Mouseketeers. You're running a complete Mouseketeer show. Yeah, that's been going on because that's the only people that watch these shows, and that's the only people that watch movies. We got to focus on it. That stupid Mean Girls was the biggest movie of the week last week. And I saw over 50% of the people who went to the movie are under 18 years old. 75% of them are girls that went to the movie, and it's the #1 film. So the rest of us, because we won't go out and do things, we are literally at the mercy of what little girls want.
I always saw those studies where the baby boomers are getting older, and the advertisers and everything are going to have to start focusing on seniors and middle-aged people, and it doesn't seem to be working out that way.
Well, it does for products, but it doesn't mean that they're all going to still go to movies. Who wants to go to a movie unless it's really good? And the problem is that's a long, vicious circle there.
That's it for the fastest hour in radio. Before we go, some happy birthdays. James Brown is 71. That party will be followed by an arrest. And Greg Gumbel is 58 today. And he looks like he's planning a big dinner with his family, the Clumps. We're Ron and Fez. We'll be back later right here on WJFK.